Hey guys, what's going on? DuffKing56 here, back to continue my Let's Play of none other than Wanderstop. Welcome back. Yesterday was an interesting episode. We made some tea for some peeps. We got ourselves a unique task, actually. We were asked to fill up the hanging garden with plants, and we've done half of it. We'll do the other half this episode. I don't want to be too quick with things now, right? Like, I mean, come on. We want to be nice and slow, take our time, enjoy the sights and the sounds. We're not going to be able to pick up our sword until we truly relax, I feel like, so I'm not too worried about it. Today, we'll do that, among other things, of course. We have, like, tons of brewing things to talk to our customers about, but let's start with something a little bit more simple, something more low-key. Let's get some tea balls ready, because who knows how much tea we're going to be asked to make going forward. I'm very interested to see what sort of tea I'm going to be making the workshop guy who built us a wind chime, which is also really nice too. And it seems like they let on that there's a person in the past that might have broken their heart, or someone they feel very sad about, somebody they also think very highly of, so it's something I'm acutely interested in going forward here. What is that? That cup is cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, I thought I had a good shot there. Lots of leaves to deal with. Thank you. Lots of good cups as well to wash. I like giving others not plain cups, right? Like, it's just a good feeling. All right, let's see. Can we do both? Sadly, no. We did work though, right? Like, that's pretty clean. All right, let's get the rest of our tea leaves here. It's nice. Sometimes I feel like I peter off, but in a good way, as far as, like, I don't need to be talking all the time, you know? Just something I'm just relaxing. I'm relaxing alongside of you. You guys can just come along, and it's very low pressure, right? Very low pressure. I'm not trying to push the issue or the pace. I'm taking things at my own. I even feel like I'm going a bit fast, quote unquote, but this is the pace that I kind of like, so it's one that I'm just confident in continuing, you know? All right, so let's get some tea leaves on the drying bed. And then on top of that, what I want to do... Actually, we should wash our glassware as well. Oh, is that camo? Oh, it is. It's really cool. I do want to drink some tea myself. We do have some tea here that will relieve some pain. So let's pour a cup. We'll reminisce on two different things. Our tasks can wait. They are not pressing at the moment. Nobody's really ailing. So let's just enjoy, right, while we have time. Seems like a nice place to enjoy this cup of... Wait! Wait. Where do you think you're going? You're gonna take my cup of tea? That's what I thought, big guy. You ain't got nothing on me. No, let's go back and drink our tea. And we can start getting talking to people. Our own pace. No worries.
I don't think I have a best friend. Do I? The closest is probably this kid who always came into the shop where my dad worked when I was young. I didn't like this guy. But he hung around the shop so often that at some point he just defaulted to being my friend. One day, he and I are hanging out, and he says, "You know your dad's a loser, right?" Of course I thought my dad was a total loser. I thought he was weak and spineless. But for some reason, I just instinctively punched this kid right in the face. I'd never punched anyone before. I hit him again, there on the ground, and he tried to kick back. But I held him down and hit him, and then... Then a bit later, my dad lost his job, and we had to move. And I never saw that kid again. After we moved, I remember the very first thing I did was sign up for boxing classes.
You know, I thought I would have some initial thoughts on the combo considering I drank the tea that also relieves my pain, but I'm also not voicing any pain, so I guess it's not surprising that Alta didn't have much to say about it. Now let's actually see if she's commented on it. The bite berry, of course, we've done. The Azzy fruit we've done, of course. Actually, come to think of it. Oh, she didn't comment on it at all. That's interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised, but that's okay. Let's pour out the rest of this because, well, the snot cones apparently didn't have much of a effect. Get all that tea. It's okay. We're giving it to the tree. Beautiful. Okay, now we have no trinkets or anything like that. Let's go and chat with some peeps. Here's the question. Do we want to chat with Nana? Do we want to chat with the warrior? Or the guy who made us the wind chime? I feel like we need to check in with the guy who made us the chime. Hello. I've done it. I've built the wind chime. It is there now. It is good. Thanks. Yes. You're welcome. I actually really like the chime. Can we take a picture of it? I would love that idea. Oh, stay. No. Oh, it would have been so cool to get him near the chime. Actually, can we zoom? Oh, we can't zoom out. It's kind of a weird high angle shot, right? There we go. Can I actually put this in the mail? It'd be kind of funny to mail a photo out randomly. Sadly, no. That's okay. Oh, well. Let's leave... Where should we leave the photo? Probably on the thing here. I have a better place for said photo. Right over here, I think would be a great spot for it. Look at you! Right next to our demon hunter. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, Gerald. What? Is it time to fix? Very nice. It's very pretty. Oh, they want to talk again. I kind of want to talk to the hunter again, but you know what? Let's talk to this guy again more. Maybe we'll get some more gifts. I must leave now. Thank you for the tea. Yes, it was good. Yes. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye. Well, that was a nice little transient encounter. Can't be upset at that. How are you doing? Quite well, thank you. In fact, I was just thinking I would make a request. Have you ever heard of silver moonlight tea? It's a variety that I drank once with the Vindian monks. The taste of it brought my tongue near to bursting. It was a blisteringly potent drink. Yet, when the feeling subsided, I experienced a tremendous oneness with myself and the world around me. I do not often wish for it, but at this moment I find myself desiring a cup. Perhaps all this talk of passion has stoked my adventurous side. Sure, how do you make it? The monks placed one messberry, one chip, one pell melon, and a mushroom into a pot of hot water. Hold on, hold on. Do I need to write this down? I feel like it'll be a recipe, but you never know. 1 second. I'm gonna get a piece of paper, I promise. Told you I'd be right back. Hear that? That's a piece of paper. That's me folding the piece of paper. That's me folding the piece of paper again. Although, maybe the noise canceling. Hold on. Oh, yeah, the pen click, right? Let's see. 1 messberry. 1 chip. 1 pell melon. 1 mushroom. Hopefully that's enough. Hopefully it's all we need. With dried tea leaves, of course. Is that too much to ask? Messberry, chip, pell melon, mushroom. Got it. Thank you, Warrior Alta. Now this is a tea that I'm very interested in to hear Alta's thoughts on when we ultimately drink it. But this almost deserves, like, what? Like a cooler cup, you know? I think like this variety type tea gets a variety type cup. Alright, so let's see what we have here. We should have a bite berry. Or no, we need a messberry. So we have pell melon for sure. We have messberry for sure. Chips, I'm not sure though. Chips is all blue. Okay. Let's go do an all blue. Hello, book lovers. It is Book by Mail Club again. I have to say, it's been a long time since I received such a positive response to a book as With Edge of a Bullet. Y'all really liked it. So, let's read another Dirk Warhard novel. This time, it's The Fastest Bullet Alive. I hope you like this as much as Dirk likes justice. Later, Gators! Alright. I can't wait to read that. The last one, like, literally had me in stitches. It was a banger of a book. I'm so looking forward to it. Let's see here. Oh my god, the mushrooms are everywhere today. That's a good feeling. Alright, let's... we don't have enough blue seeds. Okay, so... what are we gonna do about that? Blue seeds. I think we need to get to watering. Let's see, maybe this one? Not quite. Not quite. Those are fruits. Which we can just kind of leave as is. Surely we'll pick a blue one eventually. There's a blue. And there's more blue. Good. We'll get some blue going in a second. Where's blue? I don't know. Alright, let's just be a little bit picky here with our blue. We need blue. Which I'm not really seeing here. That's fine. Should probably just pick what we have. Actually, this seems like a great way to retire our plants when we can't water them anymore, right? Like, we can put them in the grove. Oh, that's actually a great idea. Let me do that. It's not that we don't have use for them. It's just that now that we can't grow anything from them, let's repurpose them. Let's make it more of a decorative item. Right? Like, I think that would be awesome. It's gonna take a minute, but we've got minutes, right? Just make sure that we are actually unable to water anything. In you go, over you go, and out you go. I love the pitter-patter of this piano too, it's very nice. Of course, we'll have some repeats over there. We don't have to have all unique things. It's totally fine. And just kind of reuse the same stuff if we need to, right? Alright, let's pick stuff here. I definitely want to... whoopsies. Oh, good. Let's water this. Of course, we need water. We are trying to cheat a little bit, I know. I was expecting something from that one. Couldn't tell you why, it's just what I was. Oopsies. I'm getting my stuff mixed up. Always looking at these pluffins, mischievous as they can be. You never know how they're going to surprise you, right? Alright, back here we go. Okay, none of these can be watered, so let's get these out of here. I mean that respectfully as possible. Promise. I think eventually we should take a picture of that as well. Alright. Any more? Doesn't seem it. Let's get you into a nice place where other people can appreciate you for more than just the fruits that you bear. The beauty that you have as well is just as important. Something that would be really nice if the seasons change, maybe we don't necessarily lose the plants, maybe they just change into different types of plants. Some more permanency would be nice. Look at that, isn't that nice? Like, oh, it's beautiful. All right, back to business, and by business I mean, you know, just grow some stuff. I'm fine with that. Oh, you know what, actually? Why don't we just, like, prettify the area like this, too? There's so many places to put plants. Oh, no. You're going in here. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I love that. Will this bear fruit if I water? No. Into here you go. We're slowly building out our area of growing to something very pretty. So when we come to drink tea here, it's going to look really nice. You know? Ah, crap. Well, you know what? We'll probably just stash that in a second. Let's do what we do best here. And that's grow stuff. So, whoopsies. I meant to go into the field guide instead. So we want chip chips, right? Which are blue all around. Very good. Ah, yes, the chip chips. I screwed up again, my bad. Not that watering the ground is like the end of the world, you know? Okay. So we have some tea to make. Hopefully it's a good one, right? There's so many things to be involved here. Wait a God. The cats. The sound effects. Can we ever run out of water? That'll be an interesting question. Let's make some tea. All right. One chip in. Yay, we're so good. Look at that, right? One pell melon in. One messberry in. One dried tea ball in. And one mushroom in. So what mushroom is it gonna be? I kind of like the gift shroom. They're very pretty. And like equally cute, so totally down for that. Ooh. What a nice coloring. Make sure not to waste any of this. Psychedelic colors, man. I appreciate that. Alright, we know exactly who we want to take this to. Where is our warrior? What a perfect spot for some tea. Allow me to serve you some tea. Is he playing that? No, it's just the musical change. I love it. Here it is. Silver Moonlight Tea. Very good. Let's have a taste. My goodness. My goodness. What an invigorating rush to the senses. Haha! Well done, Warrior Alta. A cup of silver moonlight tea that would make the Vindian monks proud. Oof. It is truly a sensation like no other on this planet. A tea that is not for the faint of heart. Yet, already I can feel it calming me from within, alighting my truest sense of self. Ah, what a remarkable sensation. I feel alive. Truly. I was not expecting to have this particular drink today. Here's to pleasant surprises. Thank you. Also, the surgical scars. It's an interesting touch for those who are acutely aware. Where are you putting that cup, sir? I don't know. You better put that away somewhere nice. I'm gonna have this tea myself, honestly. Truest sense of self. I think that would be helpful after our little jaunt in the woods, don't you think? Or I should say our jaunt sitting in front of the shrine. I think it would be very fitting just to take this in the same spot that the warrior did. So let's do just that. We drink a lot of tea. We're probably very caffeinated by now, don't you think?
Oh my god. What the hell is this? My entire face is on fire. It's almost like I'm gonna vomit. Hang on. Hang on. Ooh, I can't think clearly. My whole brain is like I'm being swallowed by a... Ugh. Wow. Okay. Ooh, I think it's starting to calm down now. Oh my god. For the love of all that's holy, what on earth did I just drink? Okay, so... when do I get the feeling of being centered and calm? I don't feel anything yet, just... terrible. Ugh. Is the calmness on its way? Hello? Nothing? I don't feel anything. Well, I feel like magma got poured down my throat. Other than that, I feel nothing. Whew. What a bunch of nonsense.
I don't think it was nonsense. I think that was fun. Clearly she enjoyed it, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. Did she have to enjoy it? Not necessarily, but I found it interesting. Okay, let's clean up. We got a few things to do now, honestly. Let's see here. Clean the tea. See you later. Where are you going, Boro? Hello, miss. Boro's having a thought, if you might indulge me. When our clearing changed, as you know, all of our plants were lost. But I have noticed that the pictures inside the shop appear to have stayed exactly as they were before. Anything that was inside a picture frame is still here with us now. Therefore, I'm thinking that perhaps it would be good to use the camera to build up some photo memories. After all, if we're going to once again lose our work, it'd be nice to have something to remember it by. So, what if you're filling up our picture frames with some photographs? These might be photographs of anything. Boro's not meaning to suggest a particular subject. Is this something of interest to you? Alright, I'll do that. I've been doing that. Wonderful. Just a handful of photographs around the shop would feel simply wonderful, I think. Please come see me once you put some up. I would love to know when you feel it is complete. Well, we do have more things to complete. It's not necessarily finished at all, honestly. What? Go! Employees only. See ya! I want to take a picture of the waterfall, actually. I think that's, like, really cute. Or maybe... we took a picture of... the hanging garden, I think, would be a good one to take a picture of at this point. You know what? A shrewder angle would be nice, like this. Like a little wide angle shot. The grove. I kind of want to throw this... like right here would be perfect, honestly. What other things can we take pictures of? Not that I'm, once again, trying to, like, beeline to the end of this task. You know what? There ain't gonna be no beeline, and what I'll do is, I'll do a little bit of cleanup, and I'll read the new book that we have as well. I think that would be a fantastic way to cap things off. It's been a minute since I've gone on a cleaning tour. I wouldn't say it's needed per se, but I do like to keep things tidy in certain intervals. I do like how we can just throw plants wherever the heck we want now. Now that we know how to do that. I suppose I could have tried to intuit that. It's probably a bit of a stretch for me, who's like recording at the same time, to think through things like that, but I don't mind. I'm happy enough to do it. Trial and error as we go, right? So I'm not seeing anything up here. Over there. There's typically never anything up here, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like eventually, but not holding my breath. Not seeing anything over here, and I'll go check the backpack, but... Aha! You cannot hide from me, pile of leaf. Ooh. It's a cup. A dirty one at that. Let's run around the back, read our book, and then see what time that takes us to. It's been a minute since I've had a trinket as well. I'm kind of sad. Those like little wooden figures are really cute, and I do like putting them up in the shop if I can. I'm glad we also got a shot of the wind chime before things changed. Should always try to remember these fun things, right? In you go. I know the static. Hell yeah, cool cow beats for you to listen and study to. Very silly, I know. Sorry. I don't mind. Did we actually get a picture of the guy who built us the... Oh, that'd be really sad if he's gone forever. You know? Ah! Okay, we need to take account. How many frames do we have left? I see 1, 2, 3. We don't want to fill them up with everything just yet, honestly. Another mini pot over here. Good to know. Take stock of the pots. Damn. You know what? This is good so far. I don't need to fill everything up now because, like, eventually we'll get stuff, right? Like, there shouldn't be any hurry at all. Okay. Now, let's go to our reading room and read the next Dirk Warhard novel, The Fastest Bullet Alive. Or maybe we do it here. Can I sit? That'd be really nice, right? There we go. Can I read? Nope. I can just sit. That's fine. Let's do what we came here to do. Read a novel. The Fastest Bullet Alive by D.B. Steele. A Dirk Warhard novel. Oh boy, it's a long one. Strap in. Okay. Whew. Deep breaths. The location, outer space. The mission, Dirk Warhard going to outer space. The man, Dirk Warhard. Dirk Warhard knew only one thing about outer space. Anything you kill in space stays there for good. He couldn't remember where he learned this piece of information, but it was about to save his life. 2 days ago, he had boarded a spaceship bound for the Global Alliance space station. Most field agents required extensive training to prepare for a mission to space, but Dirk Warhard was no ordinary agent. He completed the 3-week training program in a mere 6 hours, taught himself physics in order to build his own spaceship, and most importantly, he could hold his breath for up to 30 minutes at a time. This last point was important because Dirk Warhard didn't trust the government issue spacesuit he'd been given. It was common knowledge that the government filled their spacesuits with government air, a type of air subsidized by the government for public use, and so it had inevitably been breathed by all manner of degenerates such as actors and theater performers and improv comedians. Dirk Warhard trusted air that only he had ever breathed. Okay. And so throughout the mission, he had only allowed himself to breathe once every 30 minutes so as to consume as little of the degenerate air as possible. At this very moment, he had just taken one such breath. He was floating in space just outside the Global Alliance space station, fitted in his government-issued spacesuit. Not 100 feet away, a vicious man named Commander Huntington was waiting, also floating in space. However, Commander Huntington was wearing perhaps the most elite spacesuit ever constructed, a fusion-powered, nanoparticle exoskeleton made from steel and magma, and designed by a man who didn't know how to love. Dirk Warhard grimaced at the relative puniness of his own suit as the government air rushed into his lungs, and he screamed as the horrific thoughts of mediocre community improv assaulted his mind. Commander Huntington smirked, aware of his obvious advantage. "I see you, Dirk Warhard," he yelled. "I see you and the pitiful equipment you've lugged up here. How could you ever consider yourself a match for my superior exoskeleton?" As he said this, the exoskeleton blinked in a pattern of glowing green lights that looked like a snake, which Dirk Warhard thought was super cool. "Face it," chuckled Commander Huntington. "You've lost. Outer space belongs to me now, and with my unstoppable technology, I will rule over it like a king." Dirk Warhard wanted to yell back, "Well, you can't do all of that stuff if you're dead." But he knew that doing so could easily shave 10 minutes off his breath-holding time, so he instead turned to someone who could do all the talking for him, his trusty handgun. Dirk Warhard pulled the handgun from its holster, pointed it at Commander Huntington, and squeezed the trigger. The bullet exploded out of his gun, raced toward Commander Huntington, and slowed to a complete halt, inches away from Huntington's face. Commander Huntington burst into laughter. Well, it seems even the famous Dirk Warhard is fallible. My exoskeleton emits a gravitational field that will slow your bullets to a complete halt. Do you see now how useless it is to oppose me? I am invincible. And the lights on his suit showed the cool snake eating toxic waste and surviving. It was a terrible moment for Dirk Warhard. His gun had never failed him before, and he had fired it over 1 million times at over 10 million people. "You'll never be able to shoot me," taunted Commander Huntington. "Your bullets aren't fast enough." Suddenly, something sparked in Dirk Warhard's mind. The commander's words echoed in his ears. "Your bullets aren't fast enough." His mind stirred, and a memory of himself as a young man suddenly flashed before his eyes. "I said, your bullets aren't fast enough, Warhard." It was the voice of Hollister Mad Black, Dirk Warhard's very first trainer. Mad Black had been the one who shaped Dirk Warhard into the heroic agent of violent justice he would one day become. Mad Black was a brutal teacher, unrelenting in his methods, and incredibly specific in his background knowledge of your insecurities. And on this particular day, Dirk Warhard had spent all afternoon at the firing range while Mad Black berated him. "Your bullets aren't fast enough," Mad Black growled. "They're pathetic. They've got all the intensity of a comatose infant dying of the plague underwater. Do it again." The young Dirk Warhard grimaced, his sweaty hands gripping the handgun, and he fired the gun once again with all of his might. The bullet went fast, really, really fast, but it wasn't fast enough for Mad Black. No, yelled Mad Black. "Still too slow. My grandmother could hobble faster than this, and she's literally made of bricks. Do it again." Dirk Warhard was nearly at his limit. He'd be shooting the bullets as fast as he knew how to, and it still wasn't enough for Mad Black. Dirk Warhard slumped his shoulders in resignation. Mad Black got right in his face. "Now you listen to me, Warhard. We aren't leaving this pristine, privately funded underground training compound until you fire a bullet so fast it leaves me in tears, and I've only ever cried twice. Ever. So stand up, point yourself forward like a man, and fire the gun." A wave of determination swept over Dirk Warhard's face. He threw his shoulders back, raised his handgun into the air, and focused his mind on the one single thing in the world that brought him true happiness and inspiration. Dirk Warhard. He grinned. As his finger clenched the trigger with every fiber of strength he had, he screamed at the top of his lungs, "I'm Dirk Warhard!" The bullet erupted from the gun, traveling at speeds he'd never known before. Hollister Mad Black smiled. "That's it, Warhard. That's what I wanted to see." Again! Dirk Warhard fired the gun again, this time with even more strength than before. His finger moved with a velocity he had never known in his life, slamming down onto the trigger. "My name is Dirk Warhard, and I am Dirk Warhard." The bullet erupted from the gun at a blazing pace. Again and again he fired, each bullet faster than the one before. After nearly 9 hours of uninterrupted gunfire, Dirk Warhard at last paused and lowered his handgun. He turned to see Hollister Mad Black with a single tear rolling down his cheek. "Number 3, Warhard. Not bad." These words echoed in Dirk Warhard's memory as his mind raced back to the present moment, where Commander Huntington continued to taunt him using the same exact words he'd been repeating like 5 or 6 times by now. "Your bullets aren't fast enough to defeat me, Dirk Warhard." Dirk Warhard smiled. He gripped the handgun like he'd grip a beloved friend and pointed it at the commander, who simply laughed. Go ahead. Try your best. Dirk Warhard closed his eyes and thought deeply about the one thing in this world that he truly loved, the source of all of his inspiration, the only man whose air he'd willingly breathe, and the only family member who had never sold his personal information to a country we're at war with, Dirk Warhard. A warmth filled him from within, circling his body before traveling downward into his finger. It was as though his finger was moving all on its own, unencumbered by any burden of life or physics, like a being of pure light traveling in an imperfect world. His fingers squeezed the trigger with more strength, more velocity, more momentum than any man alive knew was possible. Nobody had ever fired a gun like this before. Nobody. With a deafening crack, the bullet fired directly at Commander Huntington. For a split second, Huntington felt a genuine shock that he may have been outmatched. And then, nothing. No reaction at all. Commander Huntington was perfectly fine. Ha! He laughed. You missed. The famous Dirk Warhard fires the shot of a lifetime and he misses. Unbelievable. Huntington couldn't stop himself. He doubled over with laughter. But Dirk Warhard didn't seem to mind. In fact, the faintest grin danced across his face. Commander Huntington laughed and pointed at Dirk Warhard in mocking derision until suddenly he was seized by a very unusual feeling. What was this feeling exactly? It was as though the exoskeleton was gripping him just a bit less tightly than usual. In fact, he was starting to feel as though there were no exoskeleton. No, not merely that the exoskeleton had been destroyed, but that it never existed at all. Dirk Warhard had hit exactly what he'd aimed at. The bullet had erupted from the gun at such an unbelievable velocity that it couldn't be contained by the very fabric of space around it. It shredded the reality, setting quantum matter alight in its wake, and in doing so, it pierced the veil of time. A bullet traveling so fast it traveled backward in time. Backward a minute, then an hour, then a day. Years began to fly by, and the bullet lost no momentum. It soared through the years until at last it found its destination, the steel and magma laboratory where the exoskeleton had been constructed, honed and refined in its design by the scientists who didn't know how to love. Decades of work and research had culminated in the unstoppable exoskeleton that Commander Huntington wore today. Yet here, at the start of it all, Dirk Warhard's bullet re-entered the fabric of space. It flew straight and true into the liquid explosive core of the factory, generating a spark that blew the entire facility to pieces. No exoskeleton would ever be constructed here, that much was certain. Now in the present moment, Dirk Warhard watched as Commander Huntington grasped and flailed at the empty space surrounding his body where the exoskeleton had been just moments ago. As Commander Huntington scowled at him in a combination of spiteful fury and suffocating, Dirk Warhard couldn't help but laugh. Dirk Warhard had always despised the past, but today it had saved his life. He knew it would cost him precious air, but he was too swept up in emotion. He turned to outer space and yelled, "My name is Dirk Warhard, and I will defeat the past even if it takes the rest of my life." Then he laughed and laughed until inevitably he had to breathe again. As he inhaled, the horrific thoughts returned of good-natured community actors just trying to get a leg up in their highly competitive industry. He shuddered in disgust, but somehow it didn't bother him. Here in space, watching as Commander Huntington suffocated or whatever he was doing over there, Dirk Warhard felt certain that he had made his old trainer proud, and that was all that mattered. Somewhere in the past, Hollister Madblack smiled ever so slightly and nodded in glowing approval as another tear ran down his calloused, stubbled cheek. Number 4, not bad, Warhard. Not bad. Hold on. We need to finish actually reading the book. Okay. Cover to cover, another Dirk Warhard special. I like the first one a little bit more, but honestly, that's definitely earning a place in the library here. So, with that, thanks so much for watching my Let's Play of Wanderstop. My name is DuffKing56. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace out, and bye-bye.